Hi everyone! This is super delayed, but I did want to do a final 2023 balcony garden update just to show you how we ended things. The first thing I wanted to show you was the vine, the morning glory, which actually started doing really well. If you remember, there were a lot of thrips and other bugs on it that were damaging it. But then one day we saw the ladybugs arrive and they started eating them, and we started getting flower buds on it, and they came out after a while, these beautiful blue flowers. Unfortunately, November was very off and on. One week it would freeze, then it would be warm, then it would freeze, then it would be warm. So after the frosts, we would get these kind of sad, mangled flowers. And the buds would grow so well, and then they would come out like this, which wasn't ideal. But we did have about 2 weeks where it was warm enough that we got to enjoy these really beautiful flowers, but then pretty much the next day they froze. But we did have one good day. So then I wanted to show you the other side, just a final shot of the heuchera and how well it did after I started fertilizing it a little bit. Very pretty with all the leaves. The other one focused on the flowers, like I said in the last update, and not the leaves, but I still enjoyed the flowers. Also the catnip, it got huge, which was actually very exciting because if you remember, the parent plant was covered in aphids. It had been down there and I sacrificed it to protect the other plants from aphids, but then somehow we got a little seedling that grew into this giant plant. We also have this gladiolus, which was the only one that bloomed. Very pretty white blooms. This was also the only plant that I had planted last summer. These other ones in the other pots, these ones I had left in my closet all of last summer, so that's probably why they didn't bloom, but they did all grow. They all grew little leaves. Even this one over here grew some little leaves. So hopefully next summer, if we plant them again, we can get some nice flowers from those as well. Another plant I wanted to show you was the purple alyssum over here, which is definitely one of my go-to plants still. I realized in this clip that it was quite dry, so I gave it some water, and a few hours later it was looking like this. So very pretty. It attracts a lot of pollinators. It grows really fast. And I think it looks nice, so I will definitely be planting this one next year as well. Unfortunately, the boxwood didn't fare so well. I don't know if it's because the alyssum was in here, but it does have a little bit of green in the back, but it is mostly brown. And I'm thinking I am just not successful with the evergreens in here, so I don't think I'll be trying this again. We'll see. Maybe I'll find a different evergreen to try. I did find success with my ferns. I did plant them really late in the season, but here's my ostrich fern. And then we have our autumn and maidenhair fern there. They do grow really well in this dark space. Ignore this little pansy that's coming down. But I do enjoy them, and hopefully they make it through the winter and then they can grow even bigger next year. There's a Japanese regal fern as well. I also really love the fountain that I made, and I highly recommend. I have the video showing how I made it. It was running really well for about 2 to 3 months before it got a bit plugged like this, but we'll clean it out and have it ready for next spring again. I also wanted to show you the plants I planted last. We have the little primrose, which is actually doing quite well. The lungwort and the windflower and the other ground cover over there are not doing as well, but I'm excited about the primrose because that means that we'll get some nice flowers hopefully in the spring when it arrives. One other thing I want to update you was on this. It was a seedling before and I wasn't sure what it would be. I thought it was the creeping Jenny, but it was actually this petunia that I had last year. I think it was called Galaxy. And I took some of them and planted them in the window box, and those ones actually bloomed. The flowers were a bit different, not the purple with white speckles, but more of a purple and white splotch. I have some pictures. So these were the main ones, the purple and white splotches. And then we also got a few that were completely white and some that were completely purple. So that was kind of fun to see what kind of variations we got out of that, out of those seeds. We also have the chives, which we actually ate in one of our dinners towards the end, which was very exciting, and it tastes pretty good. And this is looking kind of sad. But the marigolds, we had multiple generations of them. The first ones did well and then died. Then we had the babies, which did well and then died, and they were kind of going like that through the generations. And the alyssum got quite huge as well. It's starting to get kind of brown near the end of the season because those are all the seed heads, all the brown bits that are in there. But it did get quite big. And I just quickly wanted to show you another little friend that we had. There was a little snail hiding away in there. I made a video of all the visitors that we had, so I thought I'd add that because I thought it was very cute. Next, I wanted to show you what I had planned for the spring. I did plant some bulbs, so I had this daffodil called Narcissus Yaz, and I also got these muscari called Mountain Lady, and I think they look very pretty together. So I wanted to plant those in one of these square containers. So I thought either that one over there or the one over here. I wound up picking this one, so I put all the bulbs in here. I also later added snow crocus firefly, so hopefully we'll get some nice bulbs in spring. And then I decided to move the obedient plant into container, the ostrich fern into one container, and then maybe next spring I'll move it to replace anything that doesn't make it, because the ostrich fern is supposed to be the hardiest. And then over here I have the toad lily standing on top of the lupin. So I need to move the lupin, so I can move the toad lily in there and the lupin in there. And this was after that was done. So you can see that the lupin is in this container where it'll hopefully get enough light to grow bigger. We have the fern over here, just where it's overwintering in a slightly bigger pot. And then the obedient plant up here. I didn't realize it was perennial, so we'll have to find a spot for it. And the toad lily, it's over here and doing really well in this dark corner, which is great. I also added some bugleweed because it would be really nice if it covered the bottom. I think that would be a great combination with the purple toad lily flowers. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next spring.